Hello Internet, we're back! And that was incredibly lackluster. So here's the thing, right? I've spent more than the usual amount of time recently feeling stupid. Maybe you're like me and you've just spent the last 2 months of your life trying to push grammar or vocabulary or dates or dried grapes into your brain and it just hasn't worked. Oh, dates, dried grapes, they're both fruit. Oh, clever. That was clever. Maybe you've been watching some mind-boggling videos which make you wish that you hadn't stopped studying maths. Who knows, maybe you're the person who thought that this was a good idea. Whatever your situation today, we're going to try and lever the crushing despair of feeling stupid. So, to help us on our little quest, I've enlisted the help of Plato and my inimitable arts and crafts skills. What Plato's going to do for us, perhaps a little paradoxically, is teach us that we're a good deal more intelligent than we think we are. What we're going to do is use the Platonic idea of breaking things down into smaller and smaller parts until we get to their origins, or at least as close as we can get to them in the time that we have. Let's take a simple sentence as an example. The cat sat on the mat. So to all intents and purposes, this is quite a graspable and simple sentence, but if we break it down and analyse it a bit, it should become clear that it's a bit more complex than it might seem. Understanding this sentence requires knowledge of the definite article, the preterite tense, prepositions, and if we're being pedantic, which we are, we might add the assonance which makes this sentence as memorable as it is. And of course this list doesn't even begin to tackle the actual vocabulary of the sentence itself. Inherent in the understanding of the phrase is the need to know what a cat is, what a mat is, what it is to sit. In fact, the word sit is particularly evil because of its irregular past participle. If we wanted to take things further, which we do because this is the BOFNet and we don't do things by halves, we could say that knowing that what it is to sit requires us to know at least the basics of human anatomy. Or feline anatomy, as the case dictates. And the issue of the cat and the mat is still more complicated, but even without any knowledge of the kingdoms of life or the subcategories that eventually leave us with the good old-fashioned Felis silvestris catus that we all know and love, we're still able to separate a cat from, say, a fish or a dog or a jessie, and we're still able to do all this with little to no intellectual strain. I think that's enough terrible, terrible drawing, don't you? But the point is that this is a complex philosophical idea, and yet the components of it are actually very simple. There's probably nothing on that list that you didn't already know, and so hopefully it shows just how much you already know about stuff. We didn't take things as far as we could, and each stage gets more and more complicated, but still it shows that even the simplest things ask us to delve not only to the core of our knowledge of language, but to our knowledge of things as a whole. It's a geeky way of looking at things, but this is the BOFNet. What did you expect from us? And who knows, it may just help you out of the pit of post-exam despair. It's also a splendid procrastination technique. So that's the theory of forms and how to not feel stupid. I hope it works for you. If it doesn't, you could always play Trivial Pursuit against a dog or something. That's it for now, but I'm going to be posting videos every Monday for the next few weeks. If you have any comments, questions, overly detailed analyses of simple sentences, leave them in the comments. Social networking is still a thing, and we're still a part of that thing, so follow us, like us, subscribe to us, stalk us, do whatever you want. While you're doing that, I'm going to go and clear up these streamers. See you next week.